All right, perfect. So we will get started with today's masterclass series, continuation of the masterclass series. Today we are joined by another very eminent and distinguished guest. He's more from academia, and he's a very senior technocrat, so as to say, and he has got very good knowledge in terms of the technology side of business, which I'm sure all our students will lap it up today in terms of understanding as well as in terms of quizzing Dr. Ankur Gupta suitably, especially on robotics, automation, and how it has got a long-term impact as far as leadership as well as strategic decision making is concerned. For most of the businesses which have been embracing technology over the years, and sooner or later, they will reach that particular curve wherein they will be able to, use technology for decision making as well. So, just to give a short brief as far as Dr. Ankur Gupta is concerned, he is currently working as a postdoctoral researcher at IIT Guwahati, and the exclusive wing that takes care of technology side of business is the Technology Innovation and Development Foundation, which is the TIDF. The acronym is TIDF. It is famously known for that. He is involved in DST-funded projects titled Technologies for Underwater Explorations under the NMICPS initiative. He earned his doctorate PhD from PGPM IIT DM Jabalpur, specializing in dynamic modeling and control of biometric IPMC underwater propulsors. Before that, he completed his master's in technology as well, in manufacturing technology, out and out from NIT Jalandhar. So Dr. Gupta's research interests primarily lie in biomimetic robotics, smart materials and structures, system modeling, automation and robotics, and advanced control theory. He has recently focused on integrating artificial intelligence and machine language in smart actuation and sensing systems as well. His work spans both fundamental research as well as applied engineering, with a due focus or a particular focus on underwater robotics and at the same time smart sensor and actuator technologies. He has also presented and published numerous research papers in reputable journals, including international conferences and book chapters, while also collaborating with other very renowned researchers of his ilk. Notably, he received the Best Paper Award for his work titled Swimming Performance of a Ribbon Fan Inspired Biomimetic Underwater Propulsor actuated by IPMC at the 10th IEEE, which is the International Conference on Electronics, Computation and Communication Technologies, Connect 2024, which was held at the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, one of the top 100 universities, as you all know, in the world today. Yeah. Also, the best paper award for the paper titled Piezo-Based Cantilever Innovations was his brainchild, Dr. Ankur Gupta's, Advanced Sensing and Actuation and Fluids, at the IEEE 7th International Conference on Energy, Power and Environment, which is ICEP 2025. That was again organized by National Institute of Technology, NIT, Meghalaya. He's an engineering speaker, more often than not, frequently delivering invited lectures, guest talks, workshops, and training sessions on the latest technologies and their applications across various sectors. So, like I said before, technology has always been his forte, and definitely now he's amalgamating technology as well as business. So it'll be very interesting for us to hear him out, and at the same time, pose interesting questions to him, which could again be the seed for his future, research idea and work. And last but not the least, Dr. Ankur Gupta is actively involved in funded research projects as well, contributing to the advancement, especially of smart materials and intelligent control systems for next-gen robotic platforms. So with that introduction, I would leave the floor open to Dr. Ankur Gupta. I know the more I say, the lesser it is. So we are really happy and pleased that he could spend some time for us, especially focusing on technology side of business. So let's hear him out on the subject of his choice for today. Over to you, Dr. Ankur Gupta.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv. Thank you for this wonderful introduction. And very good morning, everyone. The panelists, Dr. Abhijit, Dr. Shaili, Dr. Pawan sir, hopefully he is also there. So, and all the participants who all have joined to this meeting. And I hope you all are well prepared for this masterclass series organized by the School of Management, PCU, Pune. First of all, a very big thank you to the university, the School of Management, especially Dr. Rajiv, Dr. Pawan sir, for giving me a wonderful platform to share my views with the enthusiastic and upcoming managers. I can say it's very good to meet you all. Let's get started and make this session a very interactive and engaging. I expect everybody to keep your ideas open and like very ready to share. Feel free to ask any questions in between if you ask, and it's very good. And share your thoughts as you go along. If you have met with this kind of technologies or have a hands-on or any experience, you can share. So I'll share my slides for you all. I hope it is visible.
Yeah, Dr. Gupta, it's there. Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. So once again, a very good morning. Today, I'm here to like be a part of this masterclass series, which is organized School of Management. I am Dr. Ankur Gupta. I am a postdoctoral researcher here at IIT Guwahati, TIDF. It's a technology innovation hub. TIDF is like Technology Innovation Development Foundation. It's a kind of Section 8 company where we are working on underwater technologies. We are not only giving technologies to the world, even we are encouraging the young entrepreneurs. We are giving like trainings to these entrepreneurships and people who are ready for trainings and all. So we are giving many HR activities like training to army people, defense, schools, colleges, everywhere, and especially in technologies. My current area or my work will be on sensors and actuators. So robotics will like is my background. I did my PhD in underwater robotics. Today I will be discussing with you all robotics and automation as a technology side and how transforming this business strategies and leadership decision making, which is required in the current scenario for you all upcoming talents. Okay, so let's get started. If you see this content slide, I hope many have you been through this kind of scenarios, or if not, this will be the current trend. If you go a particular company or any growing industry areas, this will be the scenario where you will find robots along with humans working like collaborationally and working parallelly to do the certain task. If you see these particular areas, this robotics, many things comes to the picture, like what robot is, what robotics is, particularly how they can work, how they are performing these tasks, what are the rules background behind that, how they have evolved actually. So the contents of this particular presentation follows the evolution of robotics, how this robotics or the term robot or how this robotics trend comes into the picture. Then we will see impact of robotic trends in the industries or the companies. We'll see major case studies where companies who are technological driven, they wanted to be in the front, how their ideas enhance the productivity and their own status or their own position in the market, the key applications where robotics can be used, the key components, as I said that you are the upcoming the brain of the management side. So you have to be understood or you have to be aware of the key components which are necessary to understand as in robotics part or the automation part. Then robotic arm, the basic, very basic industrial arm, how sensors, actuators are working, I'll tell you. Robots in farming, why I just kept this, because as in a perception, like our perception will be like farming, we only think of a person going to the fields, digging crop, feeding, and the process will go on. But now in the current scenario, the technologies which are into this particular field are enormous, and you can see, I'll tell you how these things are primarily in helping the farmers, and not only the farmers but the companies also, to like enhance themselves in this particular interest areas. Now, next will be like why business must adapt. The basic question. If these technologies are so much trending, is everything, everybody is talking about these. So why business must adopt? What are the key points to be considered? Like key technological drivers, we have to understand what are the technologies which are currently driving and that are necessary to go with. Then reimagining the workforce. What, like in the conventional thing, you have to think about, okay, I have to do the recruitment, I have to make this workforce able to do certain tasks. But now, as the trend is changing, new technologies are there, how you have to reimagining the workforce. I will talk about this. Strategic implementations of how you can implement or how you can use this technologies to incorporate in your workforce or in your industrial areas, how it can be properly implemented. New leadership paradigms, like since, as I said, like you are going to be the managers and the new leaders, or may some way come up with the entrepreneurship also. So you may be like working or thinking yourself as a new leaders. So being a new leader, what kind of knowledge you require in order to sustain in this fast running technological sites. Then last, we'll talk about the key takeaways from all these presentations and we'll ready for some questions and all. So if I say the evaluation of uh, robots and all, okay. Okay. So, may I ask if anybody know about what robot is, like how this term robot comes into the picture, what robot actually means is, can anybody tell me? Is have any student or any participant have any idea about what robot is? Very simple, very layman kind of language, what you understand by robot. So this robot term is like comes from a very like long back. It's like a play. It's a Czech play. Haven't like it's happened in 1950s, I guess. It's a Czech word, robota, which means a slave robot, like slave labor kind of thing. So that term robota gives this term robot, which means it's like a slave like labor we can use for industrial purposes and all. But now as time goes on, this slavery term or the robot term, it enhance, like it is programmable machine. It can, we can give orders, we can control them with sensors, actuators. So what these things comes into the picture, this robotics is the science where we study the robots, not the robots in terms of their kinematics, their dynamics, their controls, like their actions, what, how they are performing, everything, right? There is a very important person like Isaac Asimov. Like this Asimov, he has given three laws of robotics. Like when this robots comes into the picture, and many people are like following this robots in their industries to automate their process. So basically, it started with automobile industries. Japan, GM, they have started with automating their automation, this automobile industries. So this Isaac Asimov, they he gave three laws, like fundamental laws for robots, like how what have to be followed properly. Like so, the first law, it says the robot cannot harm or may not harm any human being. Right? This is the first law. It cannot harm. It may not harm any human being. Second law is it has to follow, like a robot has to follow the orders given by human, but it has to check if it is not violating the first law, like to harm the human beings. And third law is it has to maintain its own existence. The robot has to maintain its existence. Taken care, first and second law should not be violated. Okay, so these three laws are there in order to make robots a proper industrial machines or the automations which can be used. As we go ahead in 1970s and 1980s, we have integration of robots into the industries for better efficiencies. pioneering applications, as I said, in automobile industries, it started very, very long. In 1990s, the advancements in sensing and technologies like controls, it comes up. How the integration of various sensors plays a very vital role in the robots. If you see, if you can compare yourself, like as a human being itself, we used to learn, like we have sense organs in us. What are these sense organs? Sense organs are nothing like they interact with the environmental, you can say the inputs, we can say as in technological terms, or in layman language, we can to interact with environmental things. Like if we take the example of our skin, what is the use or what this can sense? It sense the touch, hot, cold, anything, right? What is this actually? It is interacting the environmental or any outside world, no, like you can say input we used to call it. And similarly, based on that, your sense or your skin is telling you, oh yes, it is hot, no? Or yes, this I am like touching this screen or something like that. Similarly, we are making sensors which are capable of doing so. So interacting with the environmental things and then giving output in terms of, no, there are various technologies they can give in like electrical signals, like charge, voltage, right? And then we convert it through amplifiers, and then we get the proper output in terms of like digital meters. If you have seen in this COVID term, the thermometers, digital thermometers, and that too touchless. Like you have to just stand. The person who is holding this thermosensors or thermal sensors, it just keeping in front of your head, and the temperature is shown on the display LCD. So this kind of advancements we are seeing. So this is nothing but what we already have been looking in as a human being. We also have our sense organs. Similarly, we are trying to give machines or the robots the sense, the same thing, so that they can also understand and we can control. So that what control is like, if you see, if everybody is nowadays using ACs, like what we can do, what we are doing, we are controlling the temperature based on what the reference is, your room temperature. So let's say suppose you are using an AC at your home and the temperature at your home is 30 degrees and you have turned on your AC on 24 degrees. What you are telling actually, so the sensors, they are checking the reference as 30 degrees and then the desired. Now your desired temperature is 24 degrees. So they are maintaining this particular process. The whole AC's process, the compressor is working. It has to work fast at the start to maintain it to the 24 degrees, and then it is maintaining that 20 degrees so as to meet the desired temperature. So your desired option. Like similarly in robots, we make certain desired options. So we do some path planning, we do some motion analysis. So we want this particular robot or the conveyor or some automation to follow our desired paths. Like now in 2000s, if we enter this robotics and automations, they have expanded into many various fields like healthcare, agriculture, and many other like areas. In healthcare, I'll give you a very good example. Like if you have seen, or if not, you can just check. You can Google or YouTube it. You can just check how surgical robots are working, right? It's a machine. It is kept somewhere in, like, let's say you are in Pune. Let's say your campus is having some surgical robots there, but you don't have a proper doctor to work on it. No issues. We can use cloud robotics. We can use the surgical robots. A person sitting in US also can control the surgical robots at Pune, at your own campus. So this kind of technologies, this kind things are coming into the pictures. And in 2010 onwards, we are focusing on cobots, like collaborative, like robots and human being working together, right? Alongside the humans, we are using AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning. We are using soft robotics into the things which are more flexible, more emphasizing on adaptability and all, right? So this change in the technologies, you have to be very aware of, you have to be very careful how to implement or how to use to this particular things, right? If I say What is the impact of this robotic trends? We have heard a lot about this robots can do these, robots are these, but what about this innovations in industries? How can we say, or what kind of robotic services we can see in our day-to-day lives? This picture, this will tell you what are the various options we have where this robots or the current technology are helping in various terms. Yes, I'll tell you again this, like I have used various pictures. So to acknowledge them and all, I have not written in anywhere in my sites, but to acknowledge them, yes, I thank you for the collaboration or for or supporters for giving me this proper pictures. I have used these pictures just to show or just to make the audience so that they can learn from it, or you can say like there's a proper saying in the past, like if you see, you will remember more. So similar to that, I am following that. So we were discussing about the impact of robot trends. Like so, these are the various trends: autonomous mobile robots, which can enhance the navigation for efficient operations. We have intelligent robotics, which is adaptive, which is learning first, and which are taking decisions based on your control strategies. We have cobots, collaborative robots, robots or robotics as a service. You can see in the left hand side image, we have various robots which are using as service, like service robots, which can be used in restaurants, which can be used in house, which can be used in any industry or companies, right? Robotics, cybersecurity, very, very important term. Drones, you can see like after upcoming years, you can see like Amazon has already started the drone deliveries and many other things like in farming also in various examinations or various, you can say, to check the, you can say, the how to check the penetration. Like if you talk about the current scenarios, if you talk about this Jammu Kashmir or the border issues, we have to check the infiltration of the terrorist or the persons who is coming into our areas. How to check that? We use drones, and drones are using what? The cameras, the proper sensors, which are making the post processing people to understand that yes, there is some infiltration or there is some person or there is some development also. Like we talk about this Galwan Valley and all in China and all. How we are getting the proper details? We are getting details from the developments from the drone images. Like if certain buildings are coming up in, let's say today is July, so in May we have taken some picture, and that picture is showing that that area is having only single floor buildings, but now it is showing multi-floor buildings, and that is because of the robotics technology which is used in making the infiltration or you can say the
Just bear with us, everyone. The client is just logging back in. The speaker is just logging back in. Yes, sir, you can continue. Dr. Gupta?
Yes, sorry everyone. You have to bear with me because currently we are having very big power issues kind of thing.
No problem, sir. Yeah, over to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were discussing about this like robotic trends. So we have automated guided vehicles. These kind of vehicles are very helpful in industries which are having, previously humans need to carry the weighted things and then they are moving forwards. So safety and the weight issues and all are the like features which are into the picture. Now the automated guided vehicles, the automated conveyors or say the automated guided vehicles, they are taking charge of this particular things. Then we have assistive robots which are helpful in decision making and all. Next is like transformative robotic industries innovations, where we will see how the big players are into the picture. They are targeting the important things which are into this particular trend. So we have Hyundai's AI Institute. So Hyundai has invested 400 millions USD as per the reports. But the main thing is what to focus on the AI and that too at Boston Dynamics. If you are not aware, just see Boston Dynamic robots are now like they are challenging the world. Actually, they are making a proper a human kind of robot, dog, proper mimicking the dog movements and all. So it's like of kind of development where we can think of a robot as a human being or we are mimicking the natural things. We have seen this Mitsubishi's voice control system where they are having this MySart AI, which they are using for high precision speech recognition. Then Ford's, yes, we all know Ford is a very good automotive company where this automotive robotics, they have employed 450 or plus robots for car painting and assembly making so as to make the efficiency high, the productivity high, and you can see the company is working very fine with that. Alibaba's warehouse, similarly, our Amazon warehouse, where the automation in the warehouses, which reduces the labor power in terms of what? Only the carrying the cases. But those labors or those workforce will be used for various other activities. So we will see like how the managers have to think about if they are introducing technologies. It's not about like only the technologies to be taken care of. It has to be taken, or it has to be the workforce which are already in the company. You have to be considered. You have to consider all the people in there. So how to properly plan what things to be like done by these automations and what work to be done given to the workforce and all. Key applications of collaborative robots and all you can see here. We have very vast if you see in a like as in if you see any industry or company working, we have injection molding capable of the robots working on it, packaging and palletizing, machine tending, lab analysis, gluing, dispensing, and welding. Just think of one example. We have seen this water bottles like Bisleri, the very big brand and all. Just think of like Bisleri or Coca-Cola, Coke companies and all, how they are maintaining this kind of orders daily on a daily basis. You can just think of like thousands of bottles they are making in a daily purpose, and still like in the market they are sometimes have to face the shortage, like they don't have certain things in the market of introducing all these automations and all. So as in the upcoming managers, what you have to think, the technologies which are helpful for a objective, like for this Bisleri or the Coke company and all, the objective is to meet the customer's requirement based on the bottles, right? And if you see now, previously the shape, size, color of the bottles are usually remain same for longer times. But now if you see shape, the size, the ml content and all, these are continuously changing because of these automations only. The machines are capable to do as soon as like as fast as possible compared to the prior humans which are involved into this. The key components, right? So here we will discuss about the key components. This is a general picture of an industrial robotic arm, right? Where certain key components are there, like the power supply is there. Obviously, you need power to actuate the motor so that the robotic arm will move. Just see your hand. Your hand is the industrial robot. You can say it like that. You have your shoulder, you have elbow, this wrist, this is your gripper and effector. These are the terms or these are the things which are there in industrial robot as well. If you see, it's the base is like this, your base. Like then you have a shoulder. Shoulder means you can rotate. So you have a motor there if you see in the picture. At the base, on the top of it, you have an motor which will give you a degree of freedom. So here, if you see, you can rotate, you can move. Similarly, this is this arm. So you see this arm, this first arm, it's written first arm, right? Then you have another joint which is having a motor to give you a degree of freedom like this. And this joint, you have a wrist where you can rotate, move, right? So various degrees of freedom. So I'm not going much into what degrees of freedom and what things are, just making you understand how these things are important and how these things you can make yourself understand that yes, I know what shoulder do. So similarly, what this industrial robot can do, it can move, it can rotate, it can move this kind of movement, it can pick, it can go here and there. Like, so we have end effector, we have sensors which can feel the touch or see it is hot or cold or something like that. We have actuators which can rotate, and we have a central processing unit, our brain. So the robot is also having a brain in order to capture all these details. So pre-processing, post-processing things are there so that he can also understand what actual task he has to perform. Okay. Now introducing robotic arm. As I said, this robotic arm is there. This is a proper particular image of that. So in order to understand what kind of, you can say, a movement industrial robot can do. So based on your, like, if you are into a company and your company is working with kind of limitations. So we have a term called work force, or the you can say the area which the robotic arm can cover. So based on the area a robot can move, we have Cartesian robot, we have cylindrical robot, we have polar, and we have SCARA, selective compliance assembly robot. This is the best, or you can say the most applicable robotic feature which is using in the industry. But as I said, it based upon the company's requirement, company's objective, company's location, workplace area. how a robotic arm move. So if you see how a cylinder, like if you consider this pen, this is a cylinder, right? In this particular fashion, it can move. So it can move, if you enlarge it, it can move in this fashion and up and down movement, right? If you consider this Cartesian, means only x, y, and z axis, you can consider this right hand thumb rule, right? X, Y, Z axis, like this. A robot can move this forward movement up, down, and in this direction. So based on the company's requirement or the area, we have or we can maintain our robotic arm to perform in various conditions. Now sensors, as I said, like very important thing, what sensors is. So as I said, the sensor is a thing which can interact with the environment or the outside world till by processing that particular parameter, that this is it. Like let's say, take an example of a temperature sensor. What it can do, it can sense the heat and then signal it back to the system, telling that this is this much Fahrenheit or this much degree centigrade will be the system. So what in between, or the brain, is the thing which every sensor is properly programmed, right? And the components of the sensors are, like if you consider this temperature sensor. So for temperature sensors, we have temperature metals, you know, various technologies are there. I'm not going into that. Just I'll give you a brief overview of what important factors are there or what important sensors are there. Like camera. If anybody is aware, what sensor is used in cameras nowadays, or what can be used? So there is a term called CMOS, CMOS, right? It's a metal oxide semiconductor thing. And the property of that particular material or the metal is to take the light and act as a photodiode. If you have seen a solar panel, I hope everybody know about this solar panel thing. So just check how the solar panel things work. It catches the sunlight, converts into a voltage thing, right? Similarly, this camera, this CMOS sensor, it is having a diode, photodiode kind of thing. Based on the intensity of light and the light it captures, it sells the charge, and that charge is amplifies into the pixels, and each pixels and is then projected over the screen or the you can say the camera post processing unit, right? So this is how camera is working. Ultrasound sensor, ultrasonic sensors, you can see this kind of sensors in yes, if you consider if you have seen this smart home or some lifts are also having, or the malls are also having this smart doors where you just have to reach a certain area and the door will automatically open. What is happening there is the ultrasound, or sometimes they are using IR also, infrared sensor. So what is this is, I'll just give you a brief, like what is the difference between camera, CMOS sensor and ultrasound. It is the physics behind that. Like, so the camera, the sensors are working on the photodiodes, light, intensity of light. So the wavelength, the frequencies of light is considered. Ultrasound, we are working in sound. So the velocity of sound, frequency, wavelength, these things are mapped. And in ultrasound, if you see, we have two things. One is transmitter, one is receiver. So the transmitter transmits the sound, receiver receives. In between, the object is there. Whatever the time is, it will tell you the distance and time. So in between, we have to program the system so that with this distance, you have to open the doors or something like that, right? We have four sensors. Since, as I said, that robot is having a hand effector, the hand. So the hand effector should be capable to measure what force it is going to pick, right? Capacitive sensors, like detect proximity sensors. These capacitive sensors are used in this bottle industries. If certain bottle comes into the range of their capacitive or the range of the IR range, you know, that capacitive sensor makes the robot to understand that okay, the bottle is there. You can wrap the Coke plastic or the Bisleri, you know, branding and all. Then we have radar sensors. This is radioactive detection, right? Similarly, we have lidar, very useful Nowadays, if you see, drones are using, autonomous vehicles are using. What is lidar? Lidar is light detection and ranging, right? So again, we have to work on or think about the intensity of light. And since this is laser operated, so this lidar, what it does, it maps the proper environment where it falls. So the based on the capability of the lidar, the light falls of particular area. Let's say, take an example of Tesla car. Now it is launched already, it is in Mumbai. Soon autonomous thing will comes into the picture. So this autonomous thing, how they are like planning or controlling the vehicle to understand. So this lidar comes into the picture. Lidar maps the surrounding with its light intensity, telling the system that okay, with this current like movement, there is no object or nothing in between which the car has to stop. The car can proceed forward, accelerate, right? As soon as the lidar maps a person coming in between or a car coming in front of that particular car, it tells the control system that you have to apply a brake because obstacle is coming in front. So this is how like autonomous system will work, but it will take time since India is not a very easy, place to understand or make autonomous things easy. But yes, people are working on it, and as soon as people will understand this technology, they will also understood about this. Okay, we have to follow proper road rules and all. Like so, they have to understand that autonomous cars will be running in the road. We have to be very careful, or the drones will be flying at our homes. It cannot be easy. Like in India, from our childhood days, what we have learned, like if you have seen kites, if anybody is aware, like we have flown kites in the clouds and all. So we used to catch, we used to catch flights. So similarly, in India, if you try to, fly drones over certain area, people can catch that drone. So there should be the proper understanding and knowledge to the people that okay, these things are a part of the environment. Now camera we have discussed already. Okay, robotics for precision farming, as I said, okay, I have included this slide to make you understand or make you aware, like if you think about farming, the perception is like person is going in the field with cattle or tractors to dig the field, seed the crops, and then crops will grow. But as the technologies have grown up, AI is coming into the picture. So AI enhanced plant phenotyping. It will give you what kind of plant growth you can see if you are like following this particular this moisture content or the soil content, the minerals into it, right? Precision agriculture with AI, the implementing AI and sensor technologies, right? We have robots, we have a proper station, we have satellite connected to it, we have UAVs as a drones. So what happens here is person sitting at home itself, they can like there are various apps also. They can log into the app and they can ask, okay, what is the weather condition now? The app based on the satellite inputs will give the person, okay, this is the weather condition. After 3 days or 4 days, there are chances that it will rain. So the harvesting can be planned from the farmer side. Similarly, he can track or he can give you can say the proper not like minerals, but yes, this insecticides, you know. So this drones are using to spray insecticides over a large area. Previously, people has to go inside the land and they throw, and based on that, the time was the major factor. Now, person sitting in the shed itself, he can run the drone to give the insecticides to the plant. Similarly, we have AI powered plant detections. No? So based on the data of the plants, like let's say suppose uh, I'll give you an example. Like if you go to a visit a doctor regarding, sir, I'm having a pain in my hand or some burn is there, right? Some burning is there. What he do is he just checks. Okay, the burning is very minimal and not a very big issue. Based on the condition of the burning issue, he will suggest you some medicine or some bandage or something like that. Similarly, plants, if somebody is maintaining the records, like, okay, if the plant is having this much of sunlight for this particular days, so the leaves will turn out to be this color. All the data sets, all these things will be trained to the AI model. Now, the AI model will be in this particular system. With this left side, you can see a robot. A robot is moving into the farmland and it is taking pictures, or a video, online live video is on. Based on the conditions of the leaves or the soil conditions, that robot will prepare a data for the farmer to take a decision that, okay, this particular moisture needs to be contained, this plant is deteriorating, you have to take care of this particular mineral, or this particular thing has to be done. So like that. So this kind of technologies are coming into the picture. Now, just tell me why it is important for a business to adopt robotics in their operations. Uh, anyone, you can say any idea, any about anything, how this robotics is helpful, or how a business can adopt this robotics thing into their thing. I'll give you a proper insights of some statistics. So the robotics trend, if you see, it is reaching 176.8 billions by 2025. It is already there. Now you can think of the future. Industrial robots growth, you can see it 86.6 billion by 2027. Means it is already there. Now you have to think about the future is will be more. Adoption of collaborative robots will be there. So as per CAGR report, it is 30.3%. Cobots are not just a fleeting trend now. They are vivid testament to the growing collaborative work between humans and robots. Automation in supply chain. Now, if you see in a supply chain market also, if you are aware, if you are like properly following the trends, previously what this supply chain team or the whole framework is, uh, you can say, having a disadvantage or having the lack because of a proper information. Few people are having the, you can say, some logs and logs of wheat or rice placed in their stores, but they are not getting per market to sell, right? Or a person is there with the vehicle on, but the GPS is not connected, so the person is not getting where the proper product is, right? So the in like incorporation of GPS, incorporation of apps, the technologies where the people are now connected, people are now knowing the things very easily, and it is like the 76% of supply chain professionals see the automation reshaping their industry. So they are introducing these technologies into their fields. Impact of COVID-19 on robotics, as we have seen, 30% uptick in robotics order during this pandemic speaks, because people have like thinking beyond the personals. Instead of having the human horsepower, like work power, they are more relying on industries with automation. But as I said, if you are going towards automation, you have to take care of the persons as well. So the persons will be taking care, so the collaborative work will be happening there. So if you think these things have to be implemented, so you have to embrace the continuous technology thing. You have to, not in a negative way, but in a positive manner, you have to embrace. Like, okay, I have to accept this, and being a managerial post or being a manager of this particular company, I have to think care of both, as a machine and as a person, both. Assessing the business needs. So the current scenario is this: the company has to understand what their business need is, and then how robotic or how these technologies can be helpful to them. Training and upskilling the employees, very important, because nowadays conventional things or conventional, you can say, the ideas or the knowledge is not at all important. Now, how well you are training your employees or upskilling their knowledge in this technology driven world, it is very much important. AI engineers and their recommendations, it is very much important how to use this AI tools. It's not like you are you have been forced to use AI, but yes, if you use AI or ML tools, you will see the difference. Many companies have seen already, you also will see, because the data sets, it's not like uh, anything which is saying anonymously or coming from nowhere. It's the data which is telling the truth. So it's kind of a validation, but yes, a proper person or recommendation is required in getting the AI recommendations. Now, coming towards this, the automation imperative, uh, why business must adopt. We are talking about why businesses must adopt. So the point to be considered here is like the integration of robotics and automation is no longer an option, but a strategic imperative, seeking to maintain competitiveness and drive growth. The forces compelling this shift and extending beyond mere cost reduction. So we are not just talking about the cost reduction, but it is going beyond. What is that? Efficiency and the agility. In an era defined by this rapid technological advancements, robotic automation are no longer futuristic concepts, but essential drivers of business transformation. Here we will explore how these powerful forces are reshaping industries, demanding new strategic approaches, and redefining the leadership skills. So we see about this enhanced operational efficiency. You can see we have a in this particular picture. You can see this automation is there, the workforce like the hand is there, and a search bar is there. Means you have to keep on learning the continuous advancements. So the enhanced operational efficiency comes from this like automation streamlines. What it streamlines? Repetitive tasks, right? Instead of making a person do a repetitive task, you can see a machine can do a better repetitive task. As I said, as I given an example, like in bottle industries or in automotive industries, if you have to assemble or paint a car, let's say simply painting a car. So to give a person to paint a car will be hectic for him. He will do like 1 2 almost 3 cars a day, but for a machine it will be like 30 cars, 40 cars, 60 cars, So this will give the operational efficiency. It accelerates the production. And if this efficiency and production will increase, obviously the company will be in gain. So this leads to a significant gain throughout and a reduction in operational bottlenecks also. So this like capital enhancements and reallocating the higher values activities that require this kind of activities, we can plan. Next, if you see this particular image, based on the customer, you have to speed up the deliveries, the responsiveness of changing needs, achieving the consistent quality, and while maintaining a lower price. It's a basic concept. So just think of if you have been a good online shopping person, like customer, being a customer, this Flipkart, this Mintra, Amazon, just take an example. How these companies have evolved based on the customer needs. They need customer needs speed of delivery. So nowadays, a Prime Day membership is there, single day delivery or next day delivery is there. Responsiveness to the changing needs. Now people wants more and more options to see in their visual interface. So they are making this online interfacing very relevant or very easy for the layman person even to understand. Okay, what product is, what are the things associated, which company is making that, from where or which warehouse the product is coming, achieving the consistent quality also. In consistent quality, what they are maintaining is they are maintaining a proper warehouse, products will be there, kept there, and from there a proper personnel will be there, packaging is there, and then routing, while maintaining low price. How these companies, after giving all these like benefits to their customers, they are maintaining a low price because of these things only. Automation making their task easy. The cost of investment, at the start it is okay, we can understand that for investing in this automation thing, the cost will be high. But we have seen, or we will discuss in future, like in further slides also, like how the return of interest or the investment return of investment will be high in this technological things. See this particular robot. If we have to do some repetitive task, instead of making a person to do, we can make this robots to perform this task, and we can make a person to control this particular robots. So we can give, or we can of superior quality and consistency. Robots perform tasks with precision and repeatability, so which is far beyond like human capabilities, minimizing errors and ensuring the consistent product and service quality. So this not only reduces waste and rework, but also elevates the customer satisfaction also. Next, we can talk about this increased agility and scalability. When I say agility, there are various agilities in there in the like in a company. Operational agility is there, infrastructure agility, application agility, cost agility, and security agility. So, what do you mean by this agile? What is agile? Is this agility or agile is adaptiveness? How good you are adapting yourself. So automated systems can be rapidly reconfigured and scaled to meet the fluctuating market demands. To give this, you can think of uh, yes, this Corona time. You can think of what happens in this Corona time. Certain products or certain companies, the product or the sales, they saw a dip because of this Corona restrictions. People are not like easily moving here and there, but in order to maintain the company or the process running, they have adopting the current, or like say in Corona, the need is to get the sanitizer or the mask. So the most of the companies started making this mask and sanitizers, right? Even uh, some companies who are like more into this mechanical kind of, they are making the autonomous vending machines for sanitizers, for mask and all. So this kind of adaptability quickly, if the company is adopting, more and more scalable options will be available for them. It's not like that um, for the certain period they have adopted, now they are adapting for the current things, like they have already given masks and sanitizers to the people, but now since the situation is now good, so now they are working in different things. So this is adaptability. So the cost agility, application agility, so they are adapting and scaling on the same time, because at the end profit matters. What agile manufacturing? As I said, it is adapting. So agile manufacturing is an approach that uses adaptable processes and new technologies to respond quickly and efficiently to changing market demands. So an agile process will adapt to unpredictable changes, even allowing manufacturers to change their entire product lines. As I gave an example similar to that. Agile manufacturing has shot to popularity in the past few years as business realized they need to keep up with the rapidly world conditions. So, as per the customer needs or requirements, or based on world changing conditions, they have to evolve. Those companies that respond to this changes agile way to such challenges, they are coming out ahead as compared to the other companies, which are again stick to the conventional things. So the basic feature is to respond to the unpredictable changes. So the company has to predict or the respond unpredictable changes. They have to be ready. They have to adopt. What it gives is it will give you the faster response time, reduced cost, and global scalability, which in all will give you the reduced waste and cost reduction as well. So now, if about is there any question in between? Okay. So why business are like prioritizing this particular things where business process automation is considered, right? So what this BPA term is, the things which we are talking about, how to automate your business, how this business process automation works. So the stats shows that 240% ROI, return of investment, on automation investments. So the companies recover their investments in 6 to 9 months itself after deploying the BPA tools. 74% of professionals, they agree that AI and bots automation are reshaping the roles and boosting productivity. I'll give you a very good example of AI and bots automation. Nowadays, if you click on any website or any app of any company, I think, okay, no question in the chat. Okay, yes, students, you can raise your questions in the chat box itself. Okay, if you have any query, we can check. Yes, so I was telling about this bots thing. So the bots nowadays, if you see any web page or any app, companies are having automated AI generated bots. So the person previously in the conventional things, person sitting telling you, okay, how can I help and something like that, it is already planned by the AI expert. So the initial or say the basic introduction thing has been trained and the bot is giving the response. Based on that, after certain thing, it can connect you to the customer expert. So what is this is like they are having the efficiency increment. People are now facing easy or they are trying to express their own problems or they wanted to connect. So in many ways these bots are helping. 21% growth rate in digital process automation. More organizations are automating the data entry. Now, no person is sitting and writing with the pen and like capturing all the details. Utility bills automated, like payment processing. All the things are automated. Now, as a managerial person, you have to evolve based on this ideas of technologies coming into the picture. $30 billion saved annually. This is like a data set. Business cutting costs through BPO, automation for freight bill processing, invoice automation, and data extraction. So many things can be reduced when we are introducing this BPA. The economic impetus behind automation, adoption of automation in business has leaped 16% to 51% in the current scenario. See the automation, how it is playing in the picture. Companies can reduce their operational cost by up to 90% through automation. So the cost reduction and return of investment. So while initial investment can be substantial high, that is agreeable, that is agreed, very good enough, but the long-term cost savings from reduced labor, lower energy consumptions, and minimized waste translate into a compelling return on investment. So the ability to operate 24/7, nowadays you can see, person need not to be sit for customer support, like how may I help you? The bots are there. They are covering this 24/7 operations in industries with continuous productivity on. They cannot uh, turn off the systems just like that because a minute or I can say a seconds will cost them crores of money. So the continuous support, how it is happening because of this current automation. You can see many examples like bottles are there. Like if you consider big steel industries, they cannot stop. The rolls needs to be forwarded continuously in a conveyor belts. Otherwise, the leap up or the stock will be attached and the company will have to bear a very huge loss. So what are the key technological drivers which are powering the new era? As you have seen in robotics also, there are other technological drivers like the current wave of robotics and automation is fueled by a confluence of rapidly advancing technologies. So to understand the core drivers, we have to think about AI/ML. I hope everybody has heard about this. What AI/ML is? Just a layman kind of definition, if anybody is aware, what artificial intelligence is. It's the term you can see. You can just catch these two terms, artificial and intelligence. So intelligence is the ability to respond or ability to have something knowledge about anything like that, and then you can respond to the input based on it. And artificial is, it is artificially given to a machine. It's not naturally or inborn like in us. We used to train, no? In childhood days, our parents, teachers, they used to train us. So this is how artificial intelligence is. Nowadays, we are training machines to make them a good machine to work upon our desired options, what we have. Machine learning. There are various kind of methods involved in machine learning, which are making these automation things a very reliable thing, efficient thing. These AI algorithms enable robots to learn, adapt, and make intelligent decisions. Machine learning allows systems to analyze vast data sets, identify patterns, and continuously improve their performance without explicit programming. This is vital for what? Predictive maintenance. I'll give you a very good example of this predictive maintenance. Let's say consider an automotive industry which is making a kind of car, but in that car many components are there, you have all known. Let's consider a ball bearing kind of component. A ball bearing can run up to 1500 cycles or 15,000 cycles. How we are getting this? We are getting this based on the experiments we are running. Now, if we are getting or we are training this experimental data sets with the machine, we are giving these data sets. So the machine is now capable to understand, okay, now a defect is coming, this particular noise is coming, this particular image is coming, which can further be a large defect. So it can previously tell you that, okay, this particular defect or this particular noise is coming, you have to do this certain task so as to maintain or so as to increase the life of that particular product. Like complex task execution, certain complex tasks which are like previously very difficult to give to any human being, now you can give it to the robots to perform. Dynamic process optimization, based on the parameters and the objectives of the company, a dynamic process optimization can be done, and with the lower cost, with efficient thing, our machine will give you the option. Advanced sensors and computer vision, next very like powerful technological driver. As I said, high resolution cameras. Nowadays, if you can see, in mobile phone itself, you are getting this megapixels cameras, and on the others, like same way, other side also, we are having high resolution cameras for robots, for drones, for our, as I said, in the surgical robots, how it is like possible for a person sitting in US performing an operation in Pune. So see what kind of like image we are getting through the cameras. LiDAR, as I said, LiDAR is the upcoming market thing. Autonomous, anything which we have to make autonomous, like car or a drone, we have to use LiDAR in order to map the surrounding, get the things, a proper idea of what the surrounding is, and other sophisticated sensors which provide robot with comprehensive understanding of their environment. Computer vision, what computer vision now is like, they allow them to interpret visual data. Nowadays, if you can see, if you are properly using this AI tools and all, what you can do is you can put your data sets into the system. It can tell you what kind of interpretation or decision making can be done based on that data set. So this kind of technologies are into the market. Recognize objects, how this is useful. If you can visit, okay, I'll give you an example of an airport visit. If you are visiting an airport, what happens here? They're scanning your, suitcase, and they are mapping the things inside that. System is telling, okay, this is metal, this is plastic, this so and so. But They are highlighting certain things based on the data which they already know. If you are carrying water beyond certain ml, they will tell you, sir, you are having this particular ml content, or you are carrying some metal thing which is not allowed there. Or what you can do is uh, identifying like your Aadhaar, how this Aadhaar is working. If you can see, they are trying your retinas. You mapped your face, facial recognition and all. So to recognize objects, interpret the visual data, this computer vision is very, very helpful. Cloud robotics, as I said, in surgical robotics is one example. There are many other examples where this cloud robotics. So I'll give you a very basic understanding of how this or what cloud robotics is. First of all, cloud robotics. What can I Okay, have you heard about cloud kitchen? Zomato, Swiggy, you do know. So there is a term, cloud kitchen, means a person making certain, dish at home, but is not associated, is not running his own restaurant or something. He's making a good food at home, and it is collaborating with certain restaurant or Zomato or Swiggy to provide that particular dish to the customer. So it's kind of service that is available. Similarly, in cloud, what happens here is a person sitting, let's say, in a certain location, and he wants to use the programs or the controls of a surgical robot or a drone or a agricultural drone or something like that. What he can do is he can use the internet or the cloud database in order to program that particular thing. So that is how it works. So the integration of robotics with cloud computing enable robots to access vast computational power. Now see what happens is vast computational power is many a times certain programs cannot run on the personal computers. They need some high-end systems with proper like memory, GPUs and all. So what happens is we have maintained all these things in the cloud that you can use this particular uh, you can say centralized management where these things are already taken care of, and then you can perform the programs from there. See this in the figure left hand side, a cloud robot example. A cloud robot server, you can say, or a central management which can be used for industrial robot, for delivery robot, for servant robots, military robot, medical, and number of applications are there, right? Next two figures will cover. This is collaborative and the very famous 3D printing, right? Additive manufacturing, 3D printing. I hope everybody is aware now what 3D printing is. It's a very simple setup where you can give your, imagination in terms of the input. We need SLT files, STL files from the CAD. It's like technological terms. Just think about if you have certain image in your mind that can be converted to a 3D figure. So this 3D printing is the one which can give your ideas a 3D live, anything which can be converted, anything. Not in terms of in this automation, it is very useful in rapid prototyping thing of the parts or the components, anything which you can think of. Nowadays, if you can see, most of the things are like previously. Just I'll give you an example like what engineering conventional thing is for making this particular thing. Let's say this phone cover, right? Previously, people have to make this particular pattern and then cast it using various process. It's a very lengthy process, very time taking. Now what happens here is just make a 3D or the you can say the CAD model, uh, a diagram, just a diagram of this particular shape. Just give proper dimensions and tell the 3D printer to make. Now in 3D printer, you have various options. You can use materials like PLA. You can use carbon fiber as well. See the advancement, the carbon fiber material, which like very best used in this aircrafts and automobiles. You can make your own products with that, or you can use uh, many materials like metal. You can make, so metal 3D printing is there, concrete 3D printing nowadays. If you are aware or not, I don't know, but buildings, even the rooms in armies also, very prominent researchers in 3D concrete printing. You know? So they are printing the whole room for the army people. In, like, let's say people sitting in Ladakh, they want a system, or instead of tent, because the wind velocity is high there, so they want certain sustainable solution so as to maintain that soldier to sit there, have a proper like monitoring of the area with a sustainable solution, and that too low cost, energy efficient also, right? So what these people are doing, they are 3D printing the complete building house there, instead of using this concrete, bricks and everything. Just take a 3D printing there machine there, or you can print 3D printing bricks also, take them, and then you can glue or you can fix there at a particular locations. Metal 3D printing, metal parts nowadays, instead of using this conventional casting process and all, people are using 3D printing to print the metal parts also. So you, as an manager or as a person, or to introduce this in your business or in any company, you have to be aware of what kind of technologies are there. Key areas where AI is transforming business strategies. As I said, AI is the like current trend. Now, what are the key areas? Key areas are improved predictive insights, informed strategic planning, enhanced customer experiences, and operational efficiency. Steps for an AI ready business strategy. If you are ready to incorporate, what are the steps? First is the reimagining the core processes. As I said, reimagining the workforce. So the core process you have to understand. Prepare employees for AI adoption. You have to tell, or you have to upskill the employees. Continuous improvement culture, data and analytics focus, human and AI collaboration, and then ethical AI standards. You have to follow AI ethically. Ethical is a very important term here, because nowadays people are misusing or misleading things are also there. So you have to be very, handy with this ethical terms. Now, the future AI business strategy trends, decision intelligence. You can use AI in your, business strategies to give decision intelligence for the any decision taking. You just bring your data sets to the system. The system will tell you this particular decisions, but in order to go with a particular decision, your workforce should be enhanced or upskills to understand. Generative AI. What is generative AI? By the way, if anybody is aware, I'll give you a very basic idea. Now, as I said, in 3D printing, if you just think or draw a particular picture, that machine will give you a 3D, component, a 3D image of that. Generative AI is, if you are, if you want to make certain image or any diagram, just tell the system, write, like in ChatGPT, what we have to do, we just write, no, like if we have to prepare a speech for something on this topic, so the chat gpt will give you the speech regarding that particular topic. Similarly, generative AI will give you the videos, the images, the contents based on the inputs given by the customer or the people. Swarm learning. What is this swarm learning? As I said, many things are coming from the nature inspired things. So, based on this nature inspired things, we are also making our machines to follow on the, you can say, the master copy. Like we have a machine which we can call it as a master copy, and all the link machines have to follow that particular process. That is called swarm. The head is working fine, or the head of that particular, just I'll take you one example. Have you seen like birds in the evening returning to their homes? What we can see is they are forming a V kind of shape. In the front, one bird is like flying in the first position or taking the proper navigation. Others are following, swarm learning based on the master. Others are also learning. Then embedded analytics. What is this embedded analytics? You have to understand now the system or the things which are kept there is not at all possible for you to give the analytical insights. You have to embed the technologies into your own hand and tell the data, right? So you have to be, very, very, very get connected with the technological things which are connected there. As I said, reimagining the workforce, the human robot synergy you have to maintain. As a manager, you have to maintain your connections with the robots. So the rise of robots or the robotics and automation often sparks concern about job replacement, right? So people have a fear that with the technological advancements, people will fire. It's not like that. A forward thinking is required where, you know, emerging paradigm where human robot synergy should be maintained at managerial things, right? Where technology augments human capabilities as well, create new job roles based on the technological understandings. Like when we say we have to introduce AI, so similarly we have to introduce a person which is having the AI background, AI engineer kind of. So we have to focus on cognitive tasks. What is this? As robots take over a repetitive or mundane or physically demanding tasks, similarly, we have to think about human workers which can be free to concentrate on activities requiring critical thinking, right? Brainstorming sessions we can use, or creativity or emotional intelligence, complex problem solving things. Likewise, we have to use instead of maintaining a fear of job displacement or replacement, nothing like that. Upskilling and reskilling initiatives. In a company, one should focus on upskilling the employees. So the for existing workforce, proactive upskilling, making them aware of the technologies, making them aware to work on these technologies will be a very beneficial thing. These initiatives focus on developing digital literacy. They will be literate in terms of these technologies, data analysis skills. They will help you in giving proper decision making things and expertise in operating, maintaining, and supervising these automating or automated systems. Next will be emergence of new roles. As I said, the deployment of robot necessitates the new roles such as we need robot trainers, we need automation specialists, we need data scientists to read the data, AI enthusiasts. So we need this kind of workforce as well when we are talking about the emerging trends. Enhanced safety and ergonomics. When we are going towards more, robotics things, instead of people working in hazardous environments, we can make robots to go in hazardous environments for tasks involving heavy lifting and repetitive strains. What are the strategic implementations? Phase-wise approach, I'll tell you. Phase one will be assessment and pilot programs, right? So as an manager or as in company initiatives, you have to begin by conducting a comprehensive audit of existing process that are already there and how automations can be implemented to that. Launch small scale pilot programs to test the chosen technologies which will be helpful in or not. Phase two will be infrastructure and talent development, right? So you have to check the IT infrastructure to support the new automated systems, initiate the extensive training programs for your employees, Scaled deployment and integration is very much important. Like this, based on successful pilot outcomes, you can understand, okay, these are the things which are required. Now proceed with the scaled deployment of what are the inputs provided from the phase 1 and phase 2 in relevant departments or the production lines. Focus on seamless integration of new automated systems with ERP systems. If you are aware, companies or like even in our institutes also, if we have a ERP system, like enterprise resource planning or the main centralized planning system, the documentation or the data availability or many other things are very, very useful or very, very easy compared to the companies or the institutes which are not having any ERP system. Manufacturing execution systems, MES, to ensure the data flow and operational harmony. Next will be optimization and continuous improvement. Post deployment of all the phases, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, continuously monitor the performance, analyze the data, and identify the areas for further optimization. Let's say, suppose we have identified a particular area, a department where the automation can be employed. So you have employed based on phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. But in phase 4, the objective is to optimize. How you can optimize it? So the parameter optimization means reduction of the cost, efficient increment. These are the major roles. How this leveraging the AI for predictive maintenance can be explored, new applications for automation as the technology evolves. As I said, from 1950s to the current scenario, robotics has explored a lot, right? It has evolved. Similarly, if you are planning in 2026, 25, what are the evolving technologies coming in future? You have to be very much aware of, right? So the new leadership paradigms, like as an leader of the upcoming industries or companies, a transformative impact of robotics and automation demands a fundamental shift in leadership paradigm. Like leaders must evolve beyond traditional management to become facilitators of change. First point. Next, champions of innovation. They should be very, very well aware of what innovation is, things are coming into the market. Empathic guides for their workforce. So, visionary thinking should be the first, the leadership. The leader should be visionary. He has to be like, he or she has to possess a clear vision for how automation will reshape their organization or identify future opportunities and then proactively addressing the challenges. Empathetic leadership. Empathetic means you have to be emotionally connected with the employees. You have to understand the employee anxieties. Technologies will not take away your jobs. You have to make them understand, you have to make them aware. Only thing is they have to upskills themselves, right? Data driven decision making. Automation generates vast amount of data, so the leaders which are there in the company, they must cultivate an analytical mindset, leveraging the insights from automated systems to inform the strategic decision making, optimize operations, and identify new avenues for growth and efficiency. Cross functional collaborations, like implementation of automation requires seamless collaboration between all the departments. IT must be aware, operations, HR, and other departments. So the cross-functional collaborative work should be there in a company so as to implement the automation thing. Leaders must break down the silos and foster an integrated approach to technology adoption and workforce transformation. So the key takeaways and next steps for the upcoming leaders. The transformation driven by robotics and automation is profound and inescapable. You cannot escape this. You have to be a part of this. So embrace the automation as a strategic imperative instead of taking it as a negative thing that the automation will be there, now the companies will fire or something like that. No, you have to embrace, you have to recognize that robotics and automation and other technologies are not just about cost cutting, but also the fundamental shifts in efficiency. Foster a culture of continuous innovation. The landscape of robotics and automation is rapidly evolving. So stay informed about the emerging trends. Let's say if you're not more into technologies, just look into some blogs or news or some videos where you can see that okay, now this trend is coming, or just follow the upcoming products. You can, if you see how the market shifts from conventional IC engine based vehicles to battery EV, electrical vehicles, how this changes. Players are the same. Bajaj is there, Hero is there, Honda is there, but the adaptability. So foster a culture of continuous innovation. Be a part of technology, right? Agility, as I said, adoption is very much important. Invest in human capital alongside technology. It's very good that you are adopting technologies, but you have to invest in human capital also. How? Upscaling, reskilling the programs for enhancing the powers of your workforce. Foster a culture of continuous learning. Manage and innovate alongside the automation systems. So as I said, human robot synergy should be there. Prioritize the responsible and ethical deployment. You have to develop a clear ethical guidelines for AI and robotics, addressing concerns around the biasness. It should not like people has to be sidelined and machines should be given the priority. No. Privacy, accountability, transparent communication with employees and all the stakeholders. This will build a trust and ensure sustainable, socially conscious adoption of these powerful technologies. Any questions if you have? And I don't think I have taken much of your time. And thank you. You can contact me for further inquiries and collaborations. This is my email ID and contact number.
Students, feel free to put your queries in the chat. Any specific questions from anyone?
There are two conditions for this kind of scenario. If everything is understood or everything is like going like a bouncer.
Yeah. No, I'm sure, Dr. Gupta, I mean, this is a very technical subject. And of
Yes.
course, management aspirants, they have a different understanding altogether.
Yes.
And of course, there will be a lot of people from sciences and technical background as well. And at the same time, if not, they'll have to culture it over a period of time so that, they can connect the dots between
Yes. Understood.
technical and management concepts. Yeah. So if there are no questions, I would leave the floor open to Dr. Sally Karande for a vote of thanks for Dr. Ankur Gupta.
Thank you very much, Rajiv sir. On behalf of the School of Management, PCET, Pimpri Chinchwad University, I, Dr. Sally Karande, take immense pleasure in delivering the vote of thanks for today's enlightening session of Masterclass series. First and foremost, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Ankur Gupta sir from IIT Guwahati, Technology Innovation and Development Foundation, for taking the time to share his deep insights on the topic robotics and automation, transforming business strategies and leadership decision making. I must say, today's session has been both intellectually enriching and practically inspiring, offering us valuable perspectives on future of business and technology. We are deeply grateful to Dr. Amit Patil sir, Dean, and the entire team of the School of Management for organizing, guiding the pre-induction masterclass series with such dedication. We are also thankful to all faculty members of School of Management, PCU, for their valuable support and efforts, with special thanks to Executive Director Dr. Girish Desai sir, Vice Chancellor Dr. Govind Kulkarni sir, and Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. Sudeep Thepre sir. Last but not least, a big thank you to all my students and participants for your enthusiastic presence and engagement. It is your curiosity and eagerness to learn that make this session worthwhile. With that, we conclude today's masterclass. Let us carry forward the key takeaways and continue to explore, innovate, and lead in this exciting era of robotics and automation. Thank you once again, Ankur sir. It was really very nice session, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Rather, I will say it was very interesting because we are not from the technical background, and it made us to understand that how the technically things works. So it was very nice, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for these words. Very thank you.
Have a wonderful day, sir, ahead.
Yes. Same to you, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you all so much. Dr. Ankur Gupta, you can take our leave. We'll just keep the, site open for some time. Some internal work is there. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Students and Dr. Sally ma'am, we'll keep this open for some time so that we can fill the form.
Sir, yes, sir, sure. Students, kindly fill up the form. As you know, your attendance are being marked on the feedback link that you are sharing. So please fill up the form that has been shared by the Rajiv sir on the chat box.
So another 10 minutes, we'll just keep this open and then leave it to them. Yeah. Then we'll close.
Sir. Okay. Yeah.